Let's chat Throne of Glass reading order. I'm going to cover all the different options so that you can figure out what the best reading order is for you. I promise it's not as complicated as everyone is making it seem. All we're going to be discussing is when to read this book and if you should tandem read these books. Let's get started. Option 1 is to read this book first. Now let me go and explain what this book is about. So this is a prequel book that happens 1 year prior to the rest of the series. The rest of the series takes place over 1 year. This is a collection of short stories that introduce characters that are going to appear later in the series. So like I said, you can read it first. And this is how Sarah J. Maas used to recommend that you read the series. Now the next option is to read it third. Now why would you want to read it third? It's a little bit more of an emotional impact. So these first 2 books, you kind of learn about things that happen in this book, and then you get to go back in time and actually see how it happened, what happened. There's also kind of a shift in the story from Crown of Midnight to Heir of Fire, and this is just a good breaking point. Now, this is how Sarah J. Maas currently recommends that you read her series. Now, the final option is to read it after Heir of Fire. Now, why would you want to read it like this? Well, remember how I said that it introduces characters that appear later in the series? Well, they start appearing here. So it's your last chance to read it before those characters start showing up. The one other reason that you would read it in this order is because in Heir of Fire, our main character has a lot of emotions. She has a lot of feelings. She's a lot of emotions in this book. And you might read this and be like, wow, why is she like that? Well, then you get to go back in time and learn why she is the way that she is. So those are the options for where to read Assassin's Blade. First, third, or fourth. So now we're gonna shift gears and talk about the tandem read. So at the end of Queen of Shadows, our group of characters gets split. One group goes on an adventure in Empire of Storms. The other group goes on an adventure to a new place in Tower of Dawn. These books were not written to be read tandemly. However, since they happen on the same timeline, they can be read tandemly if that is your preference. Empire of Storms is written to be much more action-packed, while Tower of Dawn is a little bit of a slower read. Both of these books are fantastic on their own, and it is entirely up to you on if you would like to read them tandemly or separate. And that's it. That's the big debate over this reading order. If you want help trying to figure out where you should read Assassin's Blade or if you should tandem read these books, my DMs are always open. Let's chat.